Diaz looks like a dirty criminal, but you look like a cop, man. You can't go over there like that.
What'd you have in mind?
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, putting suckers in fear.
Don't call it a comeback. Yesterday, Marin Software finally reversed the steady downward trend the stock had been on since it rocketed up to a peak of $27 a share on the 6th of July. While I am not holding a position on the stock and have mainly been using it for day trading, I think there is increasing information coming out regarding the prospects of this company. So in this video, we are going to dive into a bit of a technical analysis of Marin Software and look at some of the data and the news that has been coming out about the stock recently and get some perspective on where the stock is actually heading and whether or not right now is a good time to be buying into the stock. So let's get into it. Zooming out on the stock, this is how Marin has been behaving over the last month. So from its ridiculous rally from the sub $2 mark, it went all the way up to just over $27 on the 6th of July, followed by what has been more or less a fortnight of declines. That was until yesterday, where it had a nice little uptick and rose 24% higher on the day, finishing at $9.74 and crept up to $10.50 in the aftermarket session. On this chart now, I just want to point out something in the RSI. So if we look at this period down here in the RSI, how we have a sort of downward movement in the RSI. However, at the same time, we do see a continued upward movement in the stock price. This is what you would call a bearish divergence in the RSI. The RSI was declining, yet the stock kept climbing. I didn't notice it at the time, but I can see it now, and so therefore the decline that Marin Software experienced seemingly already had the writing on the wall, if you looked close enough. Just really quickly, I want to point out that in yesterday's trade, we saw a bit of a return to the volume of trade in Marin Software. It is still a far cry from where it had been 2 to 3 weeks ago, but it is good to see a bit of a return to the volume of trade. I suppose the important question here is, will it continue to have higher trading volume? Now, just quickly looking at the Google chart for yesterday, we can see that there was some continued momentum in the stock in the aftermarket. Will this be a sign of continued momentum in Thursday's session? Perhaps. Personally, I still do not feel fully comfortable predicting which way the stock is going to go in the immediate future, which is why I have been quite cautious with any of my trading activities around this stock. However, I want to now show you a few things which have started to make me come around to the fact that there is potential in the stock going forward, especially based on the current prices. So this summary came out from Marketing Sentinel yesterday and has made me a bit more optimistic and has further confirmed some of my thoughts around the future of the stock value going forward. So one of the highlights from this article were that there is now a consensus of Wall Street analysts consulted by this source that have put a target price for this stock now at $14. This did surprise me. I was expecting it to come out a bit lower, closer to more the $10 or $12 mark. But it does reflect the cleaning up of their books the company has been going through lately and the optimism around future earnings. And if you look at this bottom section here, you can see some more about the estimates and forecasts. I'll just read it very quickly. So consensus estimates provided by one financial analyst predict the company will bring in an average of $115 million in revenue for the current quarter. One analyst expects Marin Software Incorporated to make $115 million in revenue for the quarter ending June 2019. So it's just the same point there. But looking at the company's year-over-year earnings, the past 5 years showed a positive earnings growth rate of 21.4%. Marin Software Incorporated earnings are expected to increase by 1.7% in 2021, which is not that big, but the outlook is positive with 20% per year for the next 5 years. So that's a lot of growth in the pipeline that this analyst is predicting. I suppose it's worth pointing out here that Marin Software, being a smaller company, wouldn't actually be covered by as many analysts. So it is a very small pool of investing experts that are consulted on this sort of stock. Now back to the 15-minute chart, I've placed a yellow line at the new $14 price target as per analyst consensus of one analyst. There is clearly decent potential upside based on the current share price of almost 40%, about 41% upside at this current share price, proposing a very nice buying opportunity for someone who believes this is a good stock that they would like to add to their portfolio or is simply looking to turn it over in the medium term. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy the stock, but this could be a good buying opportunity. But if you do intend on buying the stock, it could still be quite a rocky road ahead at this stage. Now, when I first started looking at Marin Software, it was getting pumped up due to a potential short squeeze, and at this point in time, it would seem not a whole lot has changed for the stock. It is now currently the most shorted stock according to MarketWatch, with 47.73% of the stock currently shorted. And if you look at the short volume ratio, you can see there has been a slight return to shorting activity since the stock started showing some resistance to lower price ranges over the last couple of days. The good news, however, is that the shorts borrow fee is still quite high at 82% per annum, but keep in mind this was over 100% at the start of the week and was as high as 220% about 2 weeks ago. This means that while it is still expensive to hold a short position in the stock, it is becoming cheaper, likely because the stock price has come back down from its astronomical highs. So what does this mean? Well, there is still a very real chance of another short squeeze in the short term, as there is a really high borrow rate and such a large percentage of the float is borrowed for shorts. If you were watching or trading the stock during the last short squeeze, you would know how violently quick the price moved upwards on account of the stock's small market cap and small outstanding share float. And you can see that it has taken some time for the stock to come back down. So it took about a week to peak and it's declined about 3/4 of the way back down over 2 weeks. Also, if I was holding as a short seller, I would be a little bit worried about this new $14 price target, as there is a real chance the stock could rise to it quite quickly. And the big question for them is how long will it stay at that level? And if other short sellers start feeling the pinch, how long can you hold your position for given the still high cost to borrow shorts, which will inevitably rise with the share price? So we could be on the cusp of yet another short squeeze. To be honest, I think there is still a rocky road ahead for the stock, given the current large short interest, and I think it's going to keep seeing these dramatic price swings for some time to come. But I think that the current $14 mark is presently a good buying opportunity if it was to be included in my portfolio going forward. One of the real positives for Marin Software, which I have covered before, is that it does have quite a healthy balance sheet, which I think when combined with its expected healthy increase in revenues, makes that $14 target quite a achievable price target. There has not been any company news lately of a substantive nature. However, there was a bullish piece from Simply Wall Street that came out the other day. I will share the full article in the description, but it does highlight that Marin Software has a healthy balance sheet and has enough cash to easily cover its short-term liabilities. This is further backed up by the current snowflake diagram that Simply Wall Street has for MRIN. The company is healthy. The company is healthy and is commented on for having its flawless balance sheet. The other scores on the diagram are probably weaker, partly due to a few factors. Firstly, it is not an old company and is a small company, which means there are not as many analysts covering the stock, therefore influencing this snowflake diagram. Furthermore, it is not a dividend paying stock and has been going through a rough patch in the last 18 months, which basically eliminates the dividend and value aspects of the company. But the key takeaway here is it does have a strong balance sheet, and that can only serve it well going forward. So my final thoughts on Marin Software at this point in time is it is a potential good buying opportunity for someone looking to buy the company in the medium to long term. There's basically a 41% upside based on that $14 price target. I think in terms of general trading now, the stock is starting to get a bit closer to what could be a normal trading range. However, I think there's still more volatility to come in the near future for the stock price, largely due to the continued large short interest, which might defer a normal trading range being established. Another sort of broader problem is that in a macro sense, it seems that there are signs that we may be near a peak in the market, and this could lead to a broader pullback on the market, which will likely pull a lot of money away from Marin Software, as it is probably seen as a riskier investment. So what do you guys think? Is now a good buying opportunity, either short term or longer term, or should we just stay away from the stock given the likely continued price volatility? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting and useful. If you did, I would encourage you to leave a like on the video. Also, if you did not hear, I'm looking to turn my channel into a social enterprise in the near future, whereby watching videos like this on my channel, it will generate revenues that I plan to divert to a good cause, which I will be commenting on further in an exclusive special video soon, talking about what I have planned. If you would like to be a part of that, or just want to receive more stock updates, all the same, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. I try to put out something stock or finance related most days. I really appreciate the continued support everyone has shown my channel in recent times. It's been phenomenal, the growth it's been experiencing. Anyway, I hope the markets trade in your favor. Take care, everyone. See you soon.